Welcome everyone to This Explainer. Today we're unpacking the fascinating blueprint behind a true sporting legend. I mean, when you hear the name Sachin Tendulkar, what immediately pops into your head? For so many of us, he's quite simply the god of cricket. You picture the roaring crowds, the countless centuries, the unparalleled success. But in this presentation, we're going to look past all that mythology and the blinding spotlight. Our goal? We want to decode the specific, actionable habits that transformed one individual into a global icon of success.
Okay, let's dive into this. It's so easy to look at a master of their craft and just assume, oh, they were born with a magical gift, right? Pure, unreplicable raw talent. But was Sachin's staggering success just a product of a genetic lottery? Well, our analysis strongly argues otherwise. His legacy was actually forged through deliberately cultivated, relentless daily habits. It wasn't just about what he was born with. It was about what he built day in and day out. To truly understand this, we've mapped out his approach into 4 key areas: the foundation of greatness, his mindset of success, his unwavering focus on the field, and finally, your journey to greatness. Let's start with part 1, the foundation of greatness. This is all about building that solid bedrock of success way before the spotlight ever finds you. Now, this foundational work, it happens entirely behind closed doors. And here we find the core duo of his success: extreme discipline and an absolute reliance on hard work. Notice we aren't talking about finding shortcuts or working smart instead of hard. Nope. For Sachin, extreme discipline and a ferocious work ethic were completely non-negotiable. They literally formed the base upon which every single one of his records was built. Just consider this quote from our source material: practicing on time, regardless of weather. Think about how powerful that really is. His discipline was absolute. He didn't wait for inspiration to magically strike, and he certainly didn't let a rainy day, or a blazing heat for that matter, become an excuse to just stay home. He showed up, on time, every single day. And honestly, that level of consistency is exactly what separates the good from the truly great. Sachin was legendary for spending hours in the practice nets, just refining his technique, while his peers were resting. He outworked his competition when no cameras were flashing and no crowds were cheering. He fundamentally understood that you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your preparation. Let's move to part 2 and see how this builds into his mindset of success and how he processed monumental achievements without letting his ego take over. Because, look, once you put in that brutal foundational hard work and actually achieve massive success, you face a brand new challenge: not letting ego destroy your foundation. And that brings us to continuous learning and deep humility. It's incredibly rare to find someone at the absolute pinnacle of their profession who possesses both of these traits in abundance.
Now, what's really fascinating here is the concept of the perpetual student. We're talking about Sachin Tendulkar, a man literally worshipped by millions for his absolute mastery of the game, and yet he actively viewed himself as a learner. He treated every single match, win or lose, as a classroom to learn something new. He had this firm belief that your education should never stop, no matter how many trophies you have sitting on your shelf.
And that endless desire to learn was deeply rooted in his humility. He achieved staggering, historic milestones, but combined them with absolutely zero arrogance. He just never let his ego take the wheel. He didn't let his records make him unapproachable. Honestly, this specific combination of massive success and genuine humility is exactly why he's so universally respected around the globe today, long after he retired. Which brings us to part 3, unwavering focus on the field. This is where we look at how he executed under intense pressure right in the arena. Okay, here we have the preparation, and we have the mindset. But to actually execute under that kind of intense pressure, you need immense patience and a relentless focus on the goal. When you step into that arena, the noise can be deafening, both literally and figuratively. These 2 habits were his ultimate shield against all that noise. And this brilliantly illustrates the immense tension he faced on a regular basis. Getting out early and facing harsh criticism, well, that's just the reality of professional sports. But his reaction was to maintain his patience and simply move forward. Sachin knew that massive success absolutely does not happen overnight. He didn't let early dismissals or a bad run of form break his patience. He understood that failure is really just data, a temporary hurdle on a much, much longer journey. To maintain that level of patience, he basically had to activate tunnel vision. He became an absolute master at ignoring useless talk and critics so he could maintain total focus on his goal. When he stepped onto the pitch, the outside world ceased to exist. He put 100% of his attention on the target right in front of him. He never wasted his energy fighting critics with words. He just let his bat do the talking by staying locked onto his objective. Finally, let's look at part 4, your journey to greatness. How do we actually apply this blueprint to your daily hustle? It's super inspiring to look at a legend's life, for sure. But the real value comes from applying this to you. How do you translate his hours in the nets to your own career, your studies, or your personal goals? Let's quickly recap this highly actionable checklist. 1. Maintain unwavering discipline. Show up regardless of the weather. 2. Learn daily. Be a perpetual student in your field. 3. Embrace hard work. Put in those unseen hours. 4. Stay humble and leave your ego at the door. 5. Keep your patience, understanding that setbacks are just part of the process. And 6. Focus relentlessly on your goals. Tune out the useless noise. This is the exact formula. So the crucial point is captured perfectly right here in this powerful thesis from our source material. I really want you to let this sink in. Great people are not born great, but their habits make them great. Greatness is not inherited, guys. It's not a winning lottery ticket. It is cultivated day by day, choice by choice, habit by habit. So I want to leave you with a direct challenge based on everything we've just unpacked today. Which new habit will you adopt today? Seriously, don't wait for tomorrow. Pick just one of those 6 habits, implement it into your life right now, and start architecting your very own greatness. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to take that first step today.